right, so if you've ever needed some space from your neighbors, you're going to be interested in this next story. According to the New York Times, NASA is planning to build houses on the moon through 3D printing by 2040. This is wild. Is it something that we should be doing, Chris?
Why did you go to him first?
Because I don't know if you missed this, but I kind of picked a fight with Chris earlier, so I'm going to behave myself.
Yeah, it seems crazy, seems impossible, but just think about it. You know, we're in Toronto right now. We could not live in Toronto without technology. We just take it for granted that you know, we have shelter and we have a way of preserving food and we've invented how to make clothing to keep us warm and we can heat our buildings. Without that, you could not survive a winter in Toronto. And up until about 100 years ago, nobody could live in Antarctica because our technology wasn't good enough, and it would, you know, be deathly. But now thousands of people live at McMurdo, and 100 people live at the South Pole of the world year-round, including Canadians. And so, if our technology is good enough, then that's the only real limitation on where we choose to live.
I have a question for you.
So the moon is next.
The moon is next, but I saw what you look like when you returned from the International Space Station.
Did you just snort? Is that what just happened?
Remind the audience again how long you were orbiting Earth?
Half a year.
Half a year.
Wow.
And I mean, I would like to say, I mean, you weren't at your prime health when you got off of that because space wasn't made for us to live there. And you had to rehab, you had to, and now look at you, you're looking fabulous, everything's back. But like 6 months, orbiting the Earth is not, you know, even a couple of months living on the moon. P.S. No gravity there. There's no gravity.
Oh, no, there is gravity on the moon.
So how are we supposed to live, though?
Well, no, but we've been living in space for the last 23 years, almost exactly. So, I mean, if we can live in Toronto, and we can live in Antarctica, and we can live on the space station, where people have been living for decades already, the moon is just the next step. The moon actually has about 1/6 the same gravity as we have right now. So you'd be able to, you know, jump higher. You wouldn't have to lift weights as much. It's kind of a nice, gentle environment to live in. So that's not really the limitation. You know, it's just another place that humans can live.
And I'm going to tell you why. Yes. Do we deserve the moon? We have, I just did a quick Google search, because I read this somewhere, but I wanted to get the number.
Okay, all right.
Which means for sure it's right.
Yeah.
We have already left 500,000 pounds of space junk as litter on the moon. We have already ruined this Earth.
Yes.
We don't even live at the moon. We're already littering up there. Do we even deserve the opportunity to live up there?
500,000 pounds?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it.
Wow, I love this. Let me tell you where it came from.
Okay, what do you think the number's closer to?
However, how big is the moon if you laid it out on the Earth?
Oh, it's not very big, is it?
It's bigger than Africa.
Yeah, sorry, that number was from NASA. So
it's bigger than Africa. If you laid out, if you lay out the map of Canada, if you laid out the map of the moon on the Earth, it would be bigger than Africa. It's huge. And it's a completely...
But we're going to ruin it.
Yeah, but I hear
what does ruin it mean? There's no life there. It is an untapped resource. If we want to have a good quality of human life, then that takes food, and it takes belt buckles, and it takes, you know, all the things that we need, metal and clothing. It has to come from somewhere. And if we're going to dig it out of places where we live, then it's a huge disruption to life. But if we can get it from somewhere where there is zero life, where we're not disrupting any ecosystem at all, to me, that's really attractive. And we have just literally scratched the surface of the moon, just in a few places where the very few people have gone to. So imagine if we just discovered a continent on Earth bigger than Africa, where there was nothing living at all. What would we do with that continent?
Colonize.
Yeah.
Well, but it would become a tremendous resource. But the question is, how do we make it sustainable? How do we be more responsible in how we settle in different places? If we're going to peak out at 10 billion human beings, how do we do that in a sustainable way? Yeah. It's not the work week that's the big question, or habitats on the moon. Our huge quest as the adults that are alive right now is how do we develop the technologies and the society that allows us to feed and take care of each other in a sustainable way for the indefinite future. That's what we need to do, and the moon's just part of that.
Hey there. there. What did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.